Hey, what is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video, My Sports Gematria. In this video, I'm going to go over all the NBA games for Thursday, April 22nd, 2021. I'm going to show you both sides of each game, and it's going to be up to you to determine who you think will win based on the numbers. I encourage you to add additional information on top of this if needed for you to feel confident in your own pick. And if for whatever reason you're curious to know who I'm picking, you'll have to join my Patreon where my picks are always in writing, underlined, and italicized. For more information on that, please read the description of this video. I wish you guys the best of luck in your picks today. Let's go ahead and get in today's games. We have the Suns versus the Celtics, Pelicans versus Magic, Sixers versus the Bucks, Pistons versus Spurs, Hornets versus Bulls, and the Lakers and the Mavericks. On this side, I have what I call my daily numbers, date numerology, Gregorian, and the Hebrew calendar. And on this side is what I call game numbers. Away team up top, head to head, or excuse me, away team up top, their season record, their coach record, and then the head to heads in the middle, and at the bottom is the home team, their season record, and their coach record. So first game here, we got the Suns and the Celtics. A very confusing game, to say the least. It's the Celtics' 59th game. It's the Suns' 59th game. The Suns can get their 59th regular season head-to-head win against the Celtics, or the Suns coach can get his 277th loss regular season for his career, the 59th prime number. The Suns can get their 17th loss for the season. 59 is the 17th prime number, so it could go 277 the 59th, and their 59th, 59 the 17th prime, get their 17th loss for the season. Or the Suns in their 59th, Celtics 59th, can get their 53rd win for the season as they get their 59th regular season head-to-head win against the Celtics. 43 sums to 59. 43 also sums to 130, and it's the 130th regular season head-to-head matchup between these two teams. However, that number 130 also goes against the Suns because today has 67 date numerology on the Gregorian. 67 is the 19th prime number. 19 sums to 130. And Celtics can get their 19th home win as Suns sit on 19 away wins with the loss. So kind of confusing here, as it all goes both ways, because the Suns, they could get their 20th road win as they sweep the Celtics 2-0 head-to-head for the season like 20. Or Celtics can even the score 1-1 head-to-head against the Suns for the season as the Celtics sit on 11 home losses with the win today with 31 date numerology, the 11th prime number. But of course, Celtics come into this game sitting on 31 wins for this season, so they can sit there in this game as well on 31 date numerology. So every number here basically goes for either side. It just kind of goes back and forth. It is the 137th all-time head-to-head matchup between these two. It's a day leaving 137 left on the Hebrew Civil. It does have 156 date numerology on the Hebrew Civil, and Celtics could get their 28th loss for the season. The words 28 sums to 156. But outside of that, this is a very confusing game. I'd probably wait to see if Suns rest any players. This is a back-to-back game for them. They just came off a win against the Sixers traveling. And so if there's any players that are resting on this back-to-back against the Celtics, maybe go with the 277 and the 17. But if it's a full squad, and Celtics seems like they're missing a few players, might go with the 43 and the 59 here instead, and then the 2-0 and the 20. Pelicans and the Magic, next game. 41st all-time head-to-head matchup between these two teams. Today with 13 date numerology on the Gregorian, 41 the 13th prime number. The Magic, they can get their 41st loss for the season. What's tricky about that though is today has 67 date numerology on the Gregorian. 67 is the 19th prime number. Magic could get their 19th win for the season, and the number 19 sums to 41. So that's tricky there. Is it a direct 41 connection or an indirect 41 connection? If Magic get their 19th win for the season, they can become 11 and 20 at home for the season, like 1-1-2, 11-20 on the 112th day of the Gregorian year. Today has 31 date numerology as well. At the 11th prime, they would be getting their 11th home win and their 31st home game. 31 the 11th prime. And then Pelicans, they would get their 19th away loss for the season, as Magic get their 19th win for the season. But on the flip side, Pelicans, they could get their 19th all-time head-to-head win against the Magic, as Magic gets their 41st loss for the season and the 41st all-time head-to-head. Today does have 47 date numerology on the Gregorian. 47 sums to 121. Magic would become 10 and 21 at home with the loss. Looks kind of like a 121, as their coach gets his 121st regular season loss as a coach for the Magic. Today is the 22nd of April. It's a day leaving 253 left. The 22nd triangular number. Pelicans would be 22-19 all-time head-to-head against Magic. And then Pelicans can even the score 1-1 head-to-head against the Magic, like an 11, 31 date numerology, the 11th prime. So these games today seem to go either way. Two good ones. 76ers and the Bucks. 76ers and the Bucks. Bucks are coming off a back-to-back. They played the Suns yesterday, lost. But they were sitting out, I think, 2 players with 2 other ones that were questionable. Will everybody be full squad on this one? I don't know. It is the 22nd day of April. Leaving 253 left, the 22nd triangular number. Bucks could sit on 22 losses for the season with the win as they get their 19th home win. 67 date numerology on the Gregorian, the 19th prime number. Also has 13 date numerology. The Sixers would get their 13th road loss. Sixers would get their 20th loss for the season as the Bucks up the series 2-0 head-to-head against the Sixers. Now, what's interesting about this series is these two play again on in 2 days, I believe. So Sixers Bucks played it on Thursday, and then on Saturday, I believe they play again. Yeah, Sixers Bucks. So this was a tough one because the Sixers could be resting up players for the Bucks on Saturday. They just played the Suns. They lost. They had 2 players sitting. This is a back-to-back game, and they're going from home to on the road. Sixers could just continue to sit people, give Bucks the win here, and then get all competitive in their second or their last head-to-head game on Saturday. If that were to be the case, Sixers would get their 20th loss here as Bucks up the series 2-0, and then on Saturday, Bucks would drop to 2-1, like 21, and then we can actually even look at Saturday's date numerology. Is there's like a 21 or anything? 12th day of the month, 42. There's 30. I don't know. That's a tough one. It is the Sixers' 30th away game, and in this particular match, the Bucks can get their 113th regular season head-to-head win against the Sixers. 113, the 30th prime number. Yeah, it just depends on how Bucks or the Sixers take this game, because they're going to be playing each other on Saturday again. Because it is the 40th day on the Hebrew Religious. Sixers could get their 40th win for the season as they sit on 19 losses. 67 date numerology, the 19th prime. It is the 112th day on the Gregorian. They can sit on 112 head-to-head losses against the Bucks. as they even the score 1-1 head-to-head against like an 11, 31 date numerology, the 11th prime. Bucks would get their 11th home loss to go with. So that's potential there. A little tricky here. 23, 9th prime. 131, 32nd. I mean, the Sixers next game with 31st. If the Sixers do win this game, yeah, it is their 31st, and their next game, 31, the 11th prime, and they would come in 1-1, and then for the Bucks, it would be their 30th home game, and maybe that's when they get their 113th regular season head-to-head win instead of getting it in the Sixers' 30th away game. So that would be a scenario. They get that 113 on Saturday in their 30th home game. 49, 114, 128, 122. Nothing jumps out at first glance. But keep that in mind. These two play again on Saturday. All right, Pistons and Spurs. Not a whole lot marked here, but Spurs, they can become 13 and 19 at home for the season with the win. 13-19 today with 13 date numerology and 67 date numerology, the 19th prime number. The Spurs, they can sweep the Pistons 2-0, like 20 head-to-head for the season. And the word 20 sums to 26. Pistons would get their 26th away loss. But the word 26 sums to 42, and they would also get their 42nd loss for the season to go with it. So it'd be kind of like a chain reaction. 20, 26, 42. Today is the 22nd of April. 2:53 left, the 22nd triangular. Pistons coach, he can sit on 79 wins as a coach for the Pistons with the loss, the 22nd the 22nd prime number. 22nd prime. But Pistons, they could get their 19th win for the season, become 1941. 67 date numerology, 67 the 19th prime, 41 the 13th prime, 13 date numerology. The number 19 is the 8th prime number, and they can get their 8th away win in their coach's 888th regular season game. Maybe there's something to that. Spurs, when do the Spurs play again? When was that? Spurs, they play on the 24th as well. Is it a home game? No, it's a away game. I was thinking of something. Because Saturday is the 12th day of the second month. If it was a home game, they would go into that game 12-20 with the loss. But it's an away game, so it doesn't matter. Does not matter. What else? We got 61 here, the 18th prime. Spurs can get their 61st regular season head-to-head win against Pistons, the 18th prime, as Pistons sit on 18 wins for the season. 29-29. The thing about the number 29 is that 29 and 47 are identical in all four base ciphers. So if you type in 47 and you type in 29, you'll get these exact same four numbers. And so maybe with 47 date numerology on the Gregorian, that would be enough for the Spurs to go 29-29 since they have that similarity in all four base ciphers. But outside of that, I'm going to have to keep looking at this game because there are some interesting numbers. I mean, Pistons, they can sit on 60 regular season head-to-head losses against the Spurs in their 60th game for the season. It's their 33rd away game. I just don't. It's at 1941 or this 1319. Both using the same numbers. It's like, which one is it going to be? I do like the 88s and the 8s. That seems interesting to go with it, but I don't know if I necessarily trust it. Because you can just sit on that 79, the coach. They can just get that 42nd as they get the 26. That makes sense, you know. I'll have to think this one over a little bit more. Hornets Bulls. It's the Hornets' 58th game for this season. The word 58, if you write it out, sums to 115. Hornets coach can get his 115th loss as a coach for the Hornets. Hornets would get their 30th loss for the season. It's the Bulls' 30th home game of the season. Now, in this game, I talk about 29-29 being identical to the number 47. Same thing with the Bulls. Bulls, if they get their 25th win, 25, the number 25, the number 47, and the number 29 are identical in all four base ciphers. Here, I'll show you. If you don't already know, most probably do. 29, 25, 47. They're identical in all four base ciphers. So I always look for those pairs, 29, 25, 47. It almost seems like they're interchangeable. They're like shape-shifting between each other. Not really, but I just like to play those games sometimes with myself. Shape-shifting 25s, maybe the 29s as well. Not always, but there's potential there. I keep an open mind to it. But Bulls, they can get their 25th win for the season. 47 date numerology, 25 and 47 are identical in all four base ciphers. But you know, with the 47, Hornets can get their 47th all-time head-to-head win against the Bulls. And Bulls can get their 35th loss for the season, because even though 25 and 47 are identical in all four base ciphers, they also sum to the number 149, which is the 35th prime number. Bulls can just go ahead and get their 35th loss for the season as they become 11 and 19 at home for the season with the loss. 31 date numerology, the 11th prime. 67 date numerology, the 19th prime. And then Hornets could get their 47th all-time head-to-head win against the Bulls, the 15th prime, as they get their 15th road win for the season. And it would be the Hornets that become 29-29. So 25 and 29 are identical in all four base ciphers with the number 47. So you got to figure out, is it the 29-29 or is it the 25? Which one's going to play the action? Last game, Lakers and Mavericks. 31 date numerology on the Gregorian. Mavericks come into this game with 31 wins for the season. They could lose this game, and Lakers would get their 127th all-time head-to-head win against the Mavericks, the 31st prime number. They would sit on 58 all-time head-to-head wins against the Lakers with the loss in the 58th game of the season for the Mavericks. But as I say that, it's the 59th game for the Lakers, and Mavericks could just get their 59th all-time head-to-head win against the Lakers instead. And as far as 31 goes, 31 is the 11th prime. Today with 31 date numerology, Lakers could just get their 11th loss on the road for the season, as the Mavericks even the score 1-1 head-to-head against the Lakers like an 11. That could be where that connection comes from. 47 date numerology on the Gregorian, 47 the 15th prime. Mavericks can get their 15th win at home or their 15th loss at home. They're 50-50, so flip your coin there. In regards to the 58, though, if Mavericks do lose, 58 sums to 115. In their 58th game, they can sit on 58 all-time head-to-head, and then they would get their 115th regular season head-to-head losses against Lakers. So that might be a thing. What is interesting, some of these numbers don't look good for Mavericks. It's hard to believe Lakers winning games just because of their roster right now, but they have been winning games every now and again. Well, actually, let's check that. I know I've won a few games with them. Lakers. Yeah, so they're 5-5. Won 2 of their last 5. They win some games. I guess it's not that, but shoot, Mavericks only won 1 of their last 5. They're just as bad. 2 bad teams with really good records, I guess. But Lakers, they become 19-10 on the road, which kind of looks like a 10-19 here for the Mavericks coach, that's the number of games he's coached for the Mavericks specifically. This is an interesting one. It's either the 59, the 58, 115. The 15s go either way. This 127 and 31 is very compelling, but it could just be the Lakers getting their 11th and Mavericks evening up the score 1-1 head-to-head, like an 11. Lakers could sit on 35 wins. 47 date numerology. 47 sums to 149, the 35th prime number. I don't know. What else we got? 47 also sums to 49. Mavericks would just get the 49th regular season head-to-head win against the Lakers. As Lakers sit on that 35. Alright, so I'll just cut it there. Hopefully this helps. I wish you guys the best of luck. Thanks for watching.